morning tonight. Welcome to the Newport Board of Education regular meeting. May I have a roll call, please? Here.
Over there.
Here.
Here.
Here. And if you all will join in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here the students say they had to hold themselves. Now we have a moment of reflection. Right. First on the agenda is what we love. Mr. Atkins.
I will start with the primary school, Ms. Hayden.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Friday. So when we were deciding our student of the month for Newport Primary School, they met with me, and the first thing that came to all our minds was Raylan Harold. Come on up. One that came to mind for all three of us when we were deciding who to select for this month. She is a second grader at Newport Primary School. We started our student advancement program last year with very high expectations of academic attendance and so forth. This is year 2 for being a student leader. Identified through that academic excellence, she has since kindergarten. Great attendance and good leadership all the time. She's a leader in her classroom, one who's very dependable, knows the routine, can help others out, helps out the new students, very engaged in learning, exhibits positivity all the time, and is a very good friend. We live by 3 core expectations at Newport Primary: being respectful, safe, and responsible, and she is an example of that 100% of the time, even when the teachers aren't looking.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
And our staff member of the month, now the first month of school is Kristen Edwards. Come on up. She is a special education teacher for your 2 years, different position, but she's been in special education for 13 years. She serves as a lead for her team. She works countless hours, even at night when we're on duty at the same time, we're texting back and forth what we're working on. Hours of support, not just the students that are going, but the teachers. Her heart and soul. She is quick to answer any questions they have, is always solution oriented, like there's a problem, I'm going to come to you, but I have at least one idea on how this one I can get it fixed. Scheduling and timing and transitions are huge in the special education world, huge and really challenging every year. And so she spends a lot of time just making tweaks, content to the schedule, fit the needs of the students, even if it's sacrificing her lunch and all the things, and she'll get worked out. All while being very positive and energetic, and just is a great asset to our building. Oh, that's very sweet.
You had a meeting school?
Yeah.
All right, so our student of the month for September was a fourth grader, and she was nominated because, three things. She follows our intermediate school guidelines for success, she is a role model for other students in the classroom, and she tries her best every day. The student comes to us from Miss Graham's classroom, and it is Andrea and Brochu Chun. So come on today. Good job. And then our staff member of the month couldn't be here tonight due to a prior engagement, but the way we nominate our staff member of the month is we let the teachers nominate each other. And so this staff member was nominated by our leaders. And I just want to read what they said about her. It said, I nominate Clarissa because she is dedicated to her students. I've never seen a teacher who loves and cares for her students quite like she does. As we've made the transition to self-contained, she has been a supportive teammate, going the extra step to make sure we will be successful. She also steps up throughout the building where help is needed, parentheses dismissal. I love being on her team, and I have been so lucky to have her. So, we give a round of applause for her. She's been wonderful.
She's not, she's been. Do you want me to skip that or?
Well, so for student of the month at the high school, we selected the band Elgar. She, this year, for Mr. Hydra, very highly spoken of her. She is working on not only having straight A's this year, but she has reached out on her own to set up job sharing opportunities for photography. So she's really setting up post-secondary career readiness goals. It's been really turned around from last year when Mr. Hyder said that she's on top of everything. She's really taking her academics seriously this year. And really just with her proactive career exploration, that's why we recommended her for student. Unfortunately, did not get out of work, so I'll make sure she gets her flag. For our state member of the month, our entire high school English department. It's getting son. But this team here has been, to use the term, the absolute rock stars of the building for the start of the school year. They've taken on so many different things to help us and help Mr. Richie and I make sure the school year started off great. From creating opening days lives for our staff and students, to working on the testing schedules behind the scenes, doing all these things, helping Mr. Richie organize our practice NTI day. They just jump in and help, and it's just been great. And we are super appreciative of all of your help and everything that you have done so far this year. So thank you. And I spelled it, I'm sorry.
You're good. That's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
morning. Thank you all so much. Very exciting. We love this. We're great to be getting back to this. This is a great time to celebrate the hard work of our staff, our students. We appreciate the parents. We thank you for your partnership and your support because we could not do this without your support. And so we just want you to know we appreciate you and our staff so much for all of our work we do to make sure our kids get an excellent education and become the best versions of themselves. So, thank you. We're going to take a 5-minute break to greet our guests, and then we will resume our meeting. So thank you. Let's resume our meeting. We did Nexus comments from the audience, and we do have someone that's signed up from the audience, Ms. Walker.
Would you like to stand?
Yes.
Right, I'm here to try to be a part of the solution. Whatever we gotta do, we have to bring in the intermediate school. Wonderful principal, she's trying her best. The- These kids are taking over the intermediate school. We had 6 teachers out yesterday. 6. My kid knew that her teacher was going to be out before the teacher was out. That gives them ammunition. It gives them a way to get together and do whatever they want to do. It's not because the teachers ain't trying to teach. It's not because the principal isn't out there walking that meeting with them and trying to build a relationship. But he is, I have more respect for her today than I did when school first started. And for me to say that, you know, that's a lot. I thought she was a problem. She begged me to give her a chance. I know some of the substitutes personally, and they're telling me how out of control these kids are. It's not that we don't want them to feel at home. They're feeling too at home. I gave her permission to suspend my child. My child gets 1 suspension. I will call and press out control charges. I'm sorry, however we do this, we've got to do it right away. We've got to next month, we've got to next week, we've got to do it right. Or we're going to lose all these kids to the streets. I have a kid that comes to my door at 11 o'clock at night. Can you hear me? Come out and play? No. I'm in bed. Go home again. I don't know how we can do it. Please, I'm begging you. Let's all come together as a team and let's work together and get our kids under control. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I just know that we can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I know that she can do it. But it's not going to help if our teachers standing in the street because they get that. We got to opportunity. These kids are our high school kids to come. The kids that we got in this school right now, it's going to burn down that high school. It's going to be out there shooting. It's going to be out there carrying weapons. We need I don't want to be a problem, and I'm not trying to be a problem. I was a problem for elementary school because I still battled without really stepping back and seeing how hard it is to be a teacher. Look, I'm from a broken home. My granddaughter's from a broken home. I grew up in institutions. I don't want my granddaughter to grow up in institutions, but before she winds up shooting somebody or being a trick on the street or hurting somebody, you will be institution bound because I care. I love you. So whatever we got to do, please, let's pull together and let's do whatever we need to do. I'm begging you all, like she begged me. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, we're losing these kids.
That's it for our comments, but thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes. Does everyone have an opportunity to review the minutes from August the 27th, September the 10th? Any corrections or comments regarding the reports? Not, I need a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
It's been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next is our treasurer's report.
Good evening, Madam Chair, and to the board. We have a report. All speakers and their under new business for working budget. Questions and answers. Do you have any questions?
Thanks for none.
Thank you.
Cards on there, so everybody ready.
Okay, all righty, next, we also have the invoices that need to be approved. Any questions regarding the invoice for the month of August? All right, I need a motion to approve the bank reconciliation statement and file for audit to include the payment of the invoices.
So moved.
It's been moved in second, all in favor? All righty. The other documents presented by a finance officer is for information only. The administrative expense report, the credit card, charges for also listed. Any questions regarding the receipts that were attached to the credit card? And thank you, Ms. Knapp, for including information showing where the funds are coming out of, where the reimbursement comes from. So the board will know, yes, yes. Yes.
Sit there and give it for.
Yes, so it's, something I asked her to do because, we pay for a lot of things off the credit card, but it's not all about the general fund. And I thought it'd be good for us to know that a lot of times we're reimbursed from grants and co-op different partners. Sometimes we pay for the travel, but it's reimbursed, so thank you for doing that. And then the balance sheet. Any questions regarding the balance sheet? And just, you all know, we're having monthly budget meetings with the finance officer before the board meeting. So a lot of these documents we are in meetings about, we can ask questions and get a better understanding of our finances. And for the record, there are usually just one or two board members in these meetings, so we're not violating the Open Meeting Act. Because there's no quorum in these meetings. So let the record reflect that. I think that's it under that section. All right. Next is any more questions? Thank you, Ms. Knapp. All right, next is the student learning and support services, Mr. Atkins.
I'd say the board, my, share a few of this. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tonight I'd like to share several board updates. So first, I want to congratulate the preschool team at the primary school for receiving a 5-star rating from school program can achieve in the state of Kentucky. Reflect the dedication of teachers, their staff, and families who work very hard every day to give their youngest offense the best possible that they can receive. You're paid, this is a rating for 3 years, is that correct?
Yes.
That's very good. So go ahead and start starting 3 years. Next, talk about homecoming week. Just a couple weeks ago, but homecoming week was a tremendous success for our high school. So we had Spirit Week at the high school, pep rally, parade, football game, we had a dance, school dance. Everything came together very smoothly. I don't know if there were any issues at all with anything that happened with homecoming week. I would also add that if anyone was there, that pep rally, the amount of school ride that was there, probably the most school ride that I've seen probably in a decade, and the number of students that were just yelling and chanting for school and fights and things. So it was absolutely amazing. Shout out to the squads for organizing the parade, and also the Newport High School team for the dance. The dance was really cool, so that was great. I would like to update on the Newport High School water damage that took place last week. That was on Thursday, September 18th. The library in that area was hit the hardest. And obviously, I was on the second floor, so all that water went down to the first floor. And there was a lot of electrical panels, fire panels, all those kind of things. So it was absolutely amazing that we only missed school for 1 day. And that was because of all the work of so many people in our district that moved books, furniture, shelves, and everything. And a lot of people in here, I'm not naming names, I'll miss somebody, but that spent a lot of hours in that back energy to move all that stuff from the library. You imagine how many times that elevator went up and down to get all that stuff out. So I want to spend some time talking about it. I am because it's important. How much those people worked on those things. So shout out to them. I'm very proud of that. We did bring in a professional team. They're still working on getting out all the moisture. They removed the carpet. They're still dehumidifiers, fans, all that kind of stuff is still running. But again, Silco was in there fixing fire alarm panels immediately, breaker boxes, all those kind of things. So shout out to the entire team of getting us back in school the next day. So that was really important to me that we only missed 1 day of school. We go back in Friday. Next thing that I wanted to highlight is on my recent work with the Superintendent Standard 5, which is managerial leadership, which is one of the things that is tied in my professional growth plan. This is focused on budgeting, staffing, problem solving, and clear communication. So as a part of my PGP, I've continued some training in school finance, which included a session on the SEEK formula, which determines our state funding for public schools in Kentucky. Autumn and I, and also the high school leadership team, we had revised our school improvement fund grant, and that actually got approved today, which I'm excited about that. So $1,000. And then in collaboration with the finance director, we have the working budget complete. She's done 99.999% of the work. The working budget is done. And then also really focus on all those title resources and strategically making sure that meets your district needs. Those are just a few of the highlights of this past month. I did want to share that. That's all mine. That statement.
Thank you. Thank you. Great report.
Do you have any questions?
I do have a question for you. This, the training that you did, can you give us a little synopsis of what they did? It is provided ELEOT walkthrough training for the Newport High School Leadership Team.
So we're using the LEA walkthrough tool, which is through Cognia, which is the state approved platform. So it's just a walkthrough form so that the high school, primary, and intermediate school administrator can go into the classrooms. It's just a walkthrough.
All using the same tool in all the schools.
Yes, we really wanted to go over this because it's a more evidence-based walkthrough form where if we ever do go through a state audit, that this is the form that the state audit team will use.
Okay.
So that we're not creating our own walkthrough form. That we're like, oh, we like this question, we like this question. And we're using more of the state approved.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Atkins regarding his update?
Just nice to look.
Yes, thank you. You know, the more information we get, the more answers we can provide. You know, so thank you for keeping us informed. Next is the curriculum update.
I do want to mention, since I did this report, there were a few changes that happened yesterday. So if we go to, just before we get through it, section 2B, the college entrance exam, we did get communication from the commissioner yesterday afternoon that it has been approved to an SAT, so that is a final decision.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I also mentioned in section A that we got CERT, which is their college equipped readiness tool, they agreed to let us change it from CERT ACT to CERT SAT.
Okay.
No additional cost. And then in the KYC L25, in section 1 at C, we were told today that the funding will be here November 1st instead of October 1st.
Okay. Is this the literacy grant?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
We're only doing the SAT for juniors. So are we going to do the ACT for seniors?
Just various things that
All right. And I apologize for telling you right now, but I have such a conversation with not being able to have.
Thank you. It is a very good report.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Ignite GT program?
That is our student talented program. It is guiding. She's named it the Ignite GT. It's an acronym. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for on the top of my head, but it is just the formal name of our gifted and talented program that Mr. Betts will be providing the services.
So the 27 identified students, is that just the high school? Is that
Is
well, that's district-wide?
And to be fair, a lot of students have not been nominated or identified in the last few years without the team really being pushed.
Yeah.
Outside, I have nominated some. I know that there are more nominations coming in that we can hopefully identify very soon.
Okay.
I'm excited that we have positions in place.
Me too. It's definitely a work in progress, but she's doing a wonderful job. It's Mr.
That's been some that we first program where we can meet the needs of all our students. And I know that you put that in your report, that we want to spend as much time on, you know, how do the students get into grade levels, and we want to help the students to excel. So they're just as important. You know, all our students are important. So we have this entire program, fitness, and we're looking forward to the update as we continue to identify students that meet this criteria, so you can continue to put that in your report. Thank you so much.
So have all the students been identified, and do we have a number from primary and maybe how many might be in the program?
These are students that are currently identified. I believe that 5 are in 3rd grade for primary talent. So to back up, our gifted and talented is grades 4 through 12 only, but then there's primary talent pool, which is almost like GT Junior, where we're identifying students and providing some services, but also empowering teachers on how to challenge those students. I believe we have 5 in 3rd grade, it might be 4, and the other 4 or 5 are in primary. So we have very few right now, a lot of nominations coming in after our high ready assessments. I believe that we only have 1 GT kid currently identified in the intermediate school. So that is an area that is recognized and one that's a big focus right now, identifying students.
So will they be traveling from school to school or be stationed at our house?
It will be traveling. So tomorrow we're meeting about a schedule. The temporary schedule looks like it's going to be a lot of time in the high school, and then the other days there might be 1 transition. So the teacher might start in the intermediate and move to the primary, or start in the primary and move to the high school. But a maximum of 1 transition.
So the travel is the teacher, not the students.
Correct. Yes. Too. I've got a lot of faith in it.
Any other questions regarding public forum?
I just thought it was great.
And I just want to say too that I'm happy to get the leadership group. I think that's
The what?
it's young women's leadership.
Yes, I know, but I wanted you to, we all know the education acronyms, and everybody doesn't know the education acronyms, so I like to, avoid that for our audience, so.
I apologize for that. Our students need that. They need that encouragement. And I think we can do that.
I can't really take credit for that. It's happening in curriculum, but I want you to know that other people are doing it hard. I'm not trying to mess up.
Yes, yes. I did have a question. So, have you all had time to compare this data to last year's data?
I compared group data, I compared class data to be like our current grade or student, our current grade or student compared to the last semester. I've done a lot of comparing.
So, there's a lot of times.
Well, actually, we did create a small board because of the original.
Please do.
Okay. Because I think that is really interesting. It's probably the only one that gets excited about it. But it's just really interesting.
I'm excited with you.
It's just a very interesting approach to how to look at student achievement. And it took me quite a while to really fully understand it. So I want to show you, the principals want to come on after, right after this presentation. Put it up and now. Okay. So, and what we'll do is, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about ironic data, and I'm going to hand it off to the principals, and we're going to come back and I'll share the focus that we decided to go forward with. So, iReady is an online program. It's reading and math is what we use it for. Mainly used to identify students' strengths and needs. It's a diagnostic assessment. So we can also use a screener to screen out, or not screen out, but screen for those needs. They do get it triannually 3 times a year, and it also shows how kids are progressing toward their grade level expectations. So when the students get results, they're given grade level bands overall. So in math, you are here. In numbers and operations, you're on this grade level. In measurement data, you're on this grade level. In geometry, you're here. So it gives us a lot of really good information. And then there's almost a progression. So this is the part that really took me a while to wrap my head around. There's a progression of skills. So a kid in 6th grade in this domain might be tested to see if they can do the solve problems with ratios and rate reasoning. And if they show that they're proficient, we will see if they're proficient using ratio reasoning to convert units to measurement. And it keeps going down. So this might be an end of grade level skill for 6th grader. If they were right here at the end of 6th grade, they would get that striped green end of grade level. And if they stay there at the beginning of 7th grade, they would turn into yellow below grade level. So that's the part that I think is really hard to figure out. So I've really analyzed that in 2 different ways to try to understand it better. But this is what it might look like for a student. You might have a student who's in mid-4th grade, but in numbers and operations, they're in mid-4th grade, algebra and algebraic thinking, they're in mid-4th grade, in measurement and data, they're in early 4th grade, and in geometry, mid-4th grade, and then we have a national percentile.
It says, according to all the students who take this information, they do better than this person and those students. And that's what I'm really kind of focusing on to see, are we moving in the right direction and how fast?
What is measurement?
That would be, laughing a lot for the little kids, or I'm trying to think of better examples. And
It's quite literally measuring and analyzing the data. Like if they provide a table with data, having to look at it and answer questions about it, multiple source or short answer, it's measuring.
So after we take this diagnostic assessment, we get the good information to identify students and how to help them, but then they also get a personalized pathway. So they can get on their device, log on to iReady, and going back to that chart, if they're needing help with ratios, they get directed lessons on ratios. The teacher gets information on how we're doing on those lessons on ratios. And we keep analyzing that data as it goes on to see if it is stuck. Have they been on the same lesson several times? We need to have some in-person instruction on that, which also marries into our winning model, or what I need. So I'm going to pass it off to Kate, and she's going to do 6 slides of review the primary data. And so this is the overall snapshot of our building as a whole. So we have, as you can see, I try to read all the slides. 5% of our kids are above grade level, 11% are at grade level, and we have 85% below. That can be anywhere from 1 grade below or more, depending on the grade level. Our average percentile was 44th. And then this is broken down by each grade level, as you can see there on the left-hand side are labeled. So our average team is analyzed our data for our voting specifically. And so looking at comparing last year's reading, and I heard we were adding this grade level to now. So starting out with kindergarten, this data bar is almost identical to last year. We have a few more students that were following that approaching, which is that green without the lines on it. So that just tells me that we know that we took those kids in last year with this very more data and moved almost 90% into tuition. So just, even though this data is very full and one starting out kindergarten, we know we can move those kids as long as we can those systems. Similar with first grade, almost identical data. So again, we had with different the red, maybe 2 or more grade levels, or 2 grade levels or more, sticking in more first grade. But again, we moved those kids up with our system in place, our schedule, and those are the things that we have. I'll talk about in the next slide.
So, what you're telling us is last year they, so say in the first grade, that grade was a little bit larger, and those kids moved to yellow, some moved to green, so.
On the, it'll be on. But it's very similar. So for so not comparing like the first grade year was not paid like just like where we put it out next year.
Okay.
So the K1 grade is similar to last year, and we moved 90% of our kids proficiency. So we're moving in more from the grade. So we're kind of looking outward for last year with the small grade. So K on the exact thing, sorry, looking on my end, it's not really. We have more on level in first grade than we did last year. New going wide, or new to that. So that's why we have more kids starting out in green and first grade than we did last year. We want to, not time, but we're moving.
My understanding of the colors, red is more than 2.
It's
2, and yellow is 1. And then the green.
well, the green without any line is like the beginning of the
Okay.
yes. And then, and we have more on that for June at yellow than we had last year. And then for second grade, again, these are not necessarily all of the kids as last year, but,
That was my
we have, this is just what we have right now, so if all of our kids are going to go with us, they're not last year. We do have 9% more in the novice and the red, and we have 8% more that basically we're in the kind of already up, basically within the colors. Our overall strongest domain across the building was community awareness, and our overall weakest domain was phonics, and that was the second grade weakest area. I think that's what that overall is having an issue with is what made that our area that we really focus on. And then for our reading plan, how we're working specifically with reading. So you fly, like I said before, we are in year 2 of all classes, K-2, we do fly the first 30 minutes of our full instruction. We have intervention schedule, which I'm sure all of us are going to talk about the intervention schedule, especially in the elementary grades. It's critical to make sure we maximize everyone available at all times of the day. And so we have that first 30 minutes of the day, we have our youth live and also intervention blocks on our schedule throughout. So we yell times, we see who's available in the building. So for us, maximizing every adult is, we put for reading for second grade, when all of our special area students available. So if they're playing, if there's a gap in their schedule, we put that intervention time there so that they can go and help with interventions for second grade. And so we have Ms. Reese, for example, she is she serves as our librarian, she's in the classroom, so she took us to the next year's she's trained in reading. Some of our special area teachers are also new special ed providers from other certifications. So they're really strong with reading, but we have been with our tier 2 kiddos, Ms. Mayo, our TSS coach services groups during that time as well. So anyone available, working with kids on reading. And then,
Excuse me.
yeah.
You fly acronyms.
University of Florida Literacy Institute, yeah, no, I think intervention every time it's on intervention. All of our kiddos are screened with A's web 3 times a year. This is using target specific skills, and it actually sets up a pathway for them for intervention. So you know, like, here's where they're at, here's the deficit, let's work on this before we can move to the next skill. Let's work on this, and progress on every week. If they're in tier 3, they get every week. If they're in tier 2, they get every 2 weeks. And then again, we can adjust the instruction for those skill groups we have.
You said progress monitoring every week.
If they're in tier 3.
Say, are the students allowed to do IRA at home?
No, you're fighting why not. We don't want to be on the academic, there's also a so they're getting help with the lessons at home, make sure the parent is going to give them a little extra help or help them read through a question or a problem with his math. And then it's going to get them through a pathway quicker, but they're not going to get the next step. And then for us, we are like there's one reading, so again, we knew that reading intervention block where we had the most people available to help, especially secondary. And then for our enrichment, we really tap into our student ambassadors. Like with Braylon, she's one of those kids that are in that 98% or higher, like some other kids that we have in our building. And so we have a plan coming up beginning in October where they're going to be getting enrichment lessons using our special area team and other individuals like myself and taking through our ambassador program we started last year. But we're kind of getting to the next level with some enrichment lessons and units that we're going to tap into our heart and using physical education and STEM. So there's our snapshot for our building for math. And here it is broken down by grade level. So similar to reading, our kindergarten and first grade is almost identical to last year. Again, we moved that needle to remove those kids, the efficiency, so I'm confident that we can get that done this year and continue closing those gaps. We have, again, with the enrichment plan, those that are excelling, they are in that same area, they're already identified through the work that has done with that program that are building. Just in order to be recognized in the way that we have these scores. In reading. And for math intervention, it's a little bit trickier. We don't have all the adults available all the time. So we did prioritize them in our reading intervention, but again, we have set time for intervention. So, reading or math or whatever, whenever like this is intervention time. And we're going to make sure we're presenting those tier 2 and 3 kiddos. The classroom teachers are providing those tier 2 and 3 interventions. We do have already math and reading, so they are on a jet plane for our math as well. So they get on there during that time while they're performing small versus for the table, working on a skill that they are struggling with. And then again, Ms. Hale is a big available to also for math. She's specifically volunteer for the students. She has a math background, that's a passion of hers, so our strongest math person in the building is working with those kids.
So looking at our NIS reading, this is our percentage breakdown, what percentage is in. So there's a difference in the coloring on the bar once you get to the intermediate school. So we have our above grade level is 7%, on grade level is 11%, and then below grade level reading is 82%. The red bar is 2 or more grade levels below, and the red bar with stripes through is 3 or more grade levels. So that 82% is a combination of the yellow and the grades. So that is where we stand currently at the intermediate school. And then this is our breakdown by grade level. So you can look at the breakdown there on the screen. I'll touch on a few things I noticed while looking at the data. Our strengths across the building are domains in phonics and high frequency words. So high frequency words are going to be words that are highly recognizable and that they should be able to read, especially by 3rd grade. So that was an area of strength for our entire building. And then in the remaining 3 domains, vocabulary, comprehension of literature, and comprehension of informational text, fiction and nonfiction, was also pretty similar across grade levels. So all of our students are successful and struggling pretty much with the same skills, which makes it a little bit easier for us when determining what we're going to focus on. Right now, we're really focusing a lot on vocabulary. I know when I was a teacher, vocabulary, I was told if they know vocabulary, they can do pretty much anything. So we're really going to lean heavily on that, and I'll touch on that in the next slide. So for our reading plan, we also have our master schedule has an intervention block. It's a different time of day for every grade level. That way we can also utilize every available adult. We have our special area teachers, our interventionists, our classroom teachers, pretty much anyone who is not even classroom teachers, but anyone who is available is running an intervention group. We're utilizing right now our iReady skill plan and the teacher toolbox, which is all embedded within the iReady program. As Ms. Hayden already touched on, once they take that benchmark assessment, they're given this pathway, and it addresses what that specific student needs. But within our WIN time, WIN stands for what I need. So the students are, the goal is for the students to be grouped in a way where we can address similar needs in those rooms and grouping during that time of the day. Currently, due to our struggles with behavior and transition, we are taking a different approach, and our students are remaining in their home rooms to work on their iReady skill plans until we can get our behaviors more under control. In an attempt to be transparent. That's kind of where we're at right now, is we're working on being able to do those iReady skill plans in our classrooms at our seats before we can really dive into more in-depth things. So, we're grouping students who have like similar deficits of those reading domains to try to, hit on those, or at least that's the goal. We recently changed our model, just this week on how those groupings are gonna be based on behavior. And then our intervention teachers that we're utilizing, they're still gonna be pulling small groups. So any student that tested below the 25th percentile, is gonna be pulled into even like a small group with an intervention teacher to get that intentional, and that intentional direct instruction from a teacher. And then the students between the 26th and 40th percentile are the ones that are gonna be getting more of that instruction, that tier 2 instruction with their classroom teacher. Our MTSS coach, Steve Meyer, is meeting with all the grade level and homeroom teachers this week and next week to set up a plan of what that's gonna look like, how they're gonna run their groups, and what the expectation is. And then we're also utilizing a variety of different intervention programs that we already have in reading and math, but just trying to differentiate learning for our students based on what domains they're struggling with. Does anyone have any questions about reading? The I-Ready test, the I-Ready test, the intermediate school did that first full week this year. We did it on Tuesday with the reading test and Wednesday with the math test. And they do it 3 times a year.
When do they do it again?
I'm sorry.
When is it the next?
I think we've got December, right? We scheduled right before, it'll be right before, then we'll do it again in April. So looking at math, our percentage is a pretty similar breakdown. We have 2% of our students above grade level in the intermediate school with 6% on grade level, and then 92% either 2 or 3 grade levels, 1, 2, or 3 grade levels below where they should be. Putting us at an average of 38%. Breaking it down by grade, we have pretty similar results in all 4 domains at the grade level, of each grade level. Our numbers and operations, algebra, thinking, measurement and data, and geometry, those are, we have struggled in pretty much all 4 of them. And then something that I wanted to note that is a positive looking at this data is that those yellow bars are pretty big. And that's a good sign that we've got a lot of kids that we call on the bubble. And they're on that bubble of being green and being proficient and having that achievement of proficiency or distinguished, meaning they're on grade level. So we're really going to focus in on that during our intervention block, pushing those kids that are already like almost there. We're going to really hone in on getting them there. And that just kind of goes into our math plan. Our intervention block, our master schedule didn't allow for us to have a separate reading and a separate math block. But we have on Mondays and Tuesdays, we do reading intervention, and then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're doing math intervention with progress monitoring on Fridays, where we collect the data to see how we're doing. This allows for us to utilize our part-time intervention teachers appropriately, and then also make sure that we have time for reading and time for math every week. So they're getting at least an hour of each content every week in that intervention block. It's pretty much the same, it's the same block in the master schedule, it's the same adults, same similar deficits. We're pretty much utilizing that I-Ready skill plan, we're grouping students with those similar deficits, we're utilizing intervention teachers for small group, and then we're using more intentional and I don't want to synonym for intense, but more specific program for math with configurations, which is a program we already had. Anyone have any questions about that?
Did you say you were retaining reading and math right now? In the classroom already?
So it's a separate part of the master schedule block off. And during that time, the students are remaining in their homeroom to do that because originally they were supposed to be grouped based on their scores, but due to their behaviors and the struggles we have with transitioning in the halls and from room to room, we had to cut that out. So whatever class was before their win block, essentially, they stayed there to minimize transition, to maximize instruction. Once we can master that, we're going to get back into the grouping based on their ability. But our tier, sorry, interruption.
So is this all your grades?
Yes. Third through sixth. And then something else to mention, our special area teachers are pulling our higher achieving. We have a large number of higher achieving sixth grade students where they're going to be pulled with special area teachers to do project-based learning. So we're not just focusing on our struggling learners, but we're also focusing on enriching for our students who are at grade level. Because we don't want them to fall behind or feel like they shouldn't be essentially rewarded for, being where they need to be. So we want to provide them with those enrichment opportunities. Any questions?
So I'll go over the high school data here. 7th and 8th grade is what we do on. See here, how much like intermediate school they are. For reading at grade level, we're 12%, or above grade level, sorry, 12%, 11% on grade level, and then 77% below with our average of 35th percentile there. So with that, I mean, the main domains that we are strengthening in our phonics and with 46% of our students that are on grade level, 25% on grade level behind. Much like some of the other schools here, our plan is to focus in on domains, specific domains to target the interventions that we need for our students. You see here, like we have 2 blocks in our day, 7th period, 7th period, our intervention blocks. We do math in the morning, reading in the afternoon. What credit to Autumn and to Mr. Hill, they've done a lot of work in putting our kids in their targeted areas, in groups, and giving those groups to teachers. With our students that are towards 3 grade levels or more behind, those groups are much smaller, so that the teacher there can really focus in on the small group instruction for kids. And then when they do large group, they're 9 to 10 kids in those groups, then they can move in the small groups, 4 or 5, 6 kids at a time to really maximize the targeted interventions that they need in order to move them. We are doing progress and monitoring weekly for 6 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, if a kid has mastered that particular skill that they've struggled with, then we can move them into another group. And then focus on another skill set for them and adjust as needed for the kids that are needing mastery and whatever skill that they're learning is struggling.
So you say you're doing progress monitoring 6 weeks?
Weekly, for 6 weeks. So every week we'll do progress monitoring. 6 weeks we'll look and again, look at the kids if they mastered that skill, if they have for like say comprehension, then we can move them out of that group into another targeted area.
So if a student should master it in 4 weeks?
They'll still stay in that group for 6 weeks. So that way it maximizes or minimizes, sorry. The amount of movement. So in 6 weeks, we know we're going to look again. If we need to move kids, we'll move them. And then for our higher achieving kids, we have been set up with Mr. Betts to work on extension programs as well, and on their areas of strength. I mean, every student has one area that we can work on and grow. And so that's part of what we're doing there. All of our teachers are used during all of our middle school teachers have a group during those 2 bells. We are using their iReady plan, like we've already discussed, based on where sport is in their plan, and they can move forward with that. As the teachers, and at the end, when we are tracking the skills that we have weekly, so we know each week what is being done, and that way we can go back to those essential lesson plans and see what we're doing and how we're doing it, and see what we need to change, if anything, to maximize our measuring ability and skills here. Again, all the kids are grouped with similar deficits, so we're going to have kids that are based on their school, they might be in first grade, they might be in third grade, but that deficit is still the same. That pathway is individualized for that kid, but it is still comprehension, vocabulary, frequency words, information text, whatever it is, that skill, those kids in that area, or in that group, all struggle with the same domain.
Pretty large red areas. We have a lot of children that have more than one domain or skill
Yeah.
weekend.
Yes. And at one point, we take one and they score the lowest, and that's our focus, so that we can build that up. Then we can move to like the second skill, third skill, we go from there. Here we are, we are 5% above grade level, 8% are on grade level, and 88% are below, with our average being 40th percentile there. Again, our number of operations and measurement and data and measuring skills, data tables, graphs, all those things are areas of strength. We have 44% of our seventh graders are in that yellow area or above. Again, that yellow area is, much like Dr. Watkins said, I like to see that in the beginning because it gives us hope. We have a lot of kids in that area that are on the ball. That with our goal is with these targeted interventions that we can turn most of that yellow into green in this. And then even with the eighth grade, we have 28 or 20% of our grade level or better. So again, we're hoping with that yellow and that solid green that we can start moving those up to the left, to the left, and to the next band there. Again, math plan is very similar. Every middle school teacher has an RTI math finishing period. During the second bell, again, the same thing. In our writing plan, the teacher toolbox for tracking their skills. The grouping is by skill deficit. Again, we will progress monitor weekly for 6 weeks, and then move children as needed based on their mastery level of that particular deficit area. Any questions?
I have a question that's kind of are we still teaching science and math? Not science and math, science and social studies.
Yes.
So that's still part of the curriculum that they still learn that while they're learning reading.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our third grade block has a science and social studies, our third grade has a science and social studies block in their master schedule, meaning they do it every single day. And then our other grade levels also have a block, so we have it carved in our master schedule. I have another question, but I don't remember what it was about. I think about.
That's the content area that you're teaching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said teaching content, not.
The content, well, content is like the topic, so like reading, math, science, social studies.
I do have some questions for Paul.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and well, I just wanted, you guys have to sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of information. So when I was looking at district product, I didn't just look at snapshot, I want to look at our progress. So I looked at historical, on grade level and percentile action. So how we've done as a district, as a school, as grade level during the last 7 testing terms. As well as longitudinal, which is our current set of students, how did our educators do this during last year in 7th grade, and just following that same group of students, as well as looking at current domains that I'm seeing commonalities of struggle or success in, and looking at the schedules in each building. Did you have a question?
That was my question, the historical of our students, have they been struggling, for years,
Yes.
So like, that 6th grade, red, that was a lot, so they only went to high school, so that's what I was interested in.
It is really interesting because the grade level that you mentioned, it was not 6th grade, it was another one, but they actually improved at this kindergarten for COVID. So it is interesting also to see the farther away they are from it, how the less it seems to affect them. But I did take that. I took out about 40 slides, so I brought that down, so you have it available if you want to see that sometime. So in district-wide reading, all of our students put together, we have an average percentile of 39, which means the current place we are now is about better than 39% of students who take it. Phonological awareness has been a plus frequency words and phonics. And our deltas are phonics in the primary school, which makes sense because they're teaching it in vocabulary and comprehension. In letters, 2 years ago, I actually learned that vocabulary is 60% of comprehension. So that's something which I'm glad that Alex mentioned that it's a huge area, not just for students who are struggling. We really have to work on comprehension for vocabulary. District-wide for NPS and NIS, like I said, there wasn't an area that stuck out as the better than the others. But for NHS, it was that number of operations and measurement and data, whereas at NPS, measurement and data was the weakest area, as well as NIS and NHS. And it was, I only put things in here that were noticeably different, not just a little different. And it was an average of the 41st percentile. So when I think of students and groups, I really think of goals. We all have to have goals we want to get to. My first goal for these groups, some groups are above the 50th percentile currently. We still need to get everybody to the 50th percentile. We have to be average or above average. That's my feeling. And we have to provide that targeted instruction to address a need that's not the current standard. So if I'm missing something from 3 years ago, I can't keep progressing without getting that content. So when Minnie was mentioning getting that targeted area, if they are missing, vocabulary, it's not just their vocabulary group. We know this specific kids need to work on prefixes, pre, un, and re. So they have very specific needs that IRA is able to tell us. And we also have to align and celebrate throughout the district anytime we have those wins. So our next step, and these just goes straight from the slide before, we have to goal set. And I want to work with the principals to determine what those goals are. I want everyone to know those goals, students, staff, community. And we also want our students to pass 2 lessons in IRA each week. And we have to monitor those goals. If we're going to get them, we have to see how we're doing and progressing. We have to have those targeted.
In real time.
Yeah. We have to have that targeted instruction, and I just mentioned that. And we have to have our student teacher administration alignment. We have to all know what's important and what our focus is. We can't have many different focuses. We have to have these rocks, these things that we are addressing. That is all I have for you all.
In your report, you mentioned using Potter's change block.
In the wind block for the high school, that was a very quick process. I worked with Mr. Hill. We developed a system to analyze students based on domain. And then instead of doing the first 3 steps, Potter's change model is 8 steps of how to make a successful change. The first 3 steps focus on creating the right climate and understand. So because of that, there is a little bit of confusion and frustration. So the focus is now going back to those first 3 steps and making sure that we have the right climate to make a positive change. And I was telling Mr. Atkins, I had that taped on my desk for the last 4 years, but printed out and taped it in, so I never forget it.
Thank you.
One of the things I'd like to see after we do the December testing, and you probably already plan to do this, to give us a comparison of December to these scores. So we can see how much, what we're doing to improve.
I agree, and December will also give us what's called a growth percentile, so you can see not just where we are we growing faster than other students. So that will be the data. I also forgot to mention when we did the longitudinal data, every grade level is progressing percentile-wise. In both areas, we just need to make it as fast as we can to get to that 50% on longitudinal average.
I thought of one. So we only do already through 7 through 8. What did we do after that?
Now, it's actually probably taking already this year too. So
So we have it available in 12th grade. After that, though, they use the CERT that college and, I can't remember the acronym, but it's their college readiness test, and that's where they get the majority of their math.
And how many times do you miss that?
So that is a late purchase. They do have access to it now, and then the windows coming in very soon. So we can get them 3 times in a year. That's it. College equipped readiness. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Sorry.
AI,
Yeah.
and the data show that your plan doesn't work. So it says, while accelerated learning is preferred, better outcome studies show that accelerated learning through targeted interventions lead to better outcomes for students than remediation. So, fostering strong relationships with teachers enhances motivation, engagement, creating a more supportive learning. And the multi-tier system framework helps identify students' needs through differentiated core instructions and targeted intervention, leading to catch-up growth. So, because you know, you hear this and you hear kids with 2 or 3 years behind, and you want to know, is it possible? And the data shows that it is possible. If you use the right program, have a targeted intervention, so that's good news to hear. That is possible, and we just have to believe in our students, you know, and not letting the barriers that they have prevent us from teaching them and making sure they get the best education. So thank you all for your hard work and commitment to getting our kids on track. We appreciate it. All righty. Sorry, mister, we got into your time. You got 2 minutes now. That's
Madam Chair and members of the board, I do want to show you this month our data dashboard. We're just in the very beginning stages of this. So we do have live now through our district website. You will see calendar and data dashboard.
I got very excited when you sent that email.
So there is a brief overview, and we are working on a redesign of what the DPP and student services website actually looks like. But this is the first portion of that. And just so that it's always there for the community and for all of our stakeholders, we are updating at the end of each attendance month all of this information. So I know it's hard to see up on the screen, but our first piece there is just our year-by-year enrollment. So you are able to track that enrollment over time, and this is what it is for the past, for this year and the past 3 years, as of the end of attendance month 1. The next piece of information that our community and stakeholders will be able to see is what the enrollment is by grade level. And this is not broken down by school, but this is broken down by grade level. Another piece will be just the resident versus non-resident enrollment. So again, just looking at what is our total population of Newport students and what population are we bringing in from other districts.
Thank you.
You're
Does
welcome.
that include the school information?
That does include, that is all schools in our district. The only difference would be for Newport Regional. When we pull them in, they are Newport Independent students. So even if they are Jefferson County or Pulaski County, when they are with us, they are Newport Independent students. The year-to-date attendance, and then we have gender, ethnicity. This attendance rate by student. That's going to tell you how many students have 100% attendance. And this is really based off that chronic absenteeism, because we are seeing our attendance rate increase. We absolutely saw great growth last year in chronic absenteeism, but again, we have got to get our students here. And one important thing to know is chronic absenteeism is actually your unexcused and your excused absences. So if you have to go to the dentist, if you have a medical appointment, anything like that actually does impact your chronic absenteeism rate, because we want our students here 95% of the time or greater. 100% every single day. Success does start by showing up. So that's the first piece of that dashboard. The next piece, and we've been sending this out to school administrators now for, I believe we are in our second or third year. So this is updated every day. Just a few minutes before 10 o'clock, it goes live every day at 10. Each school is setting a goal. So for example, Newport High School goal is 92.2. They really wish I could show yesterday's attendance. It was so bad. It is what it is. Sorry, once it's fine, it's fine. So, we've got some grade levels there that are in the red for a couple of different reasons. The Newport High School goal is 92.2. Last year's the first year they had hit their goal. They are so far exceeding it. Our year-to-date was 96%. We're still looking at the data for that. The feedback so far from the students has been it is a positive environment and they want to come. So that's a huge piece of data. The other piece is we are seeing a reduction in tardies, and we do believe that is because of the change in start time. Newport Intermediate School, their goal is 96. That's really a stretch goal for them. 95% they do hit fairly consistently, and that is the district goal. But we do believe that the intermediate school can get to 96%. They have before. And the Newport Primary School, that is at 95%. That's their goal. And honestly, it is our kindergarten, first and second grade that struggle just as much as our 11th and 12th grade students of getting to school. So we have noticed the trend over at least the past 5 years of where K1 and 2 attendance is lower. So we absolutely want to continue focusing on our Tier 1 attendance initiative. And we are going to need to engage our parents because those are the individuals who are getting these students to school. So that is the attendance dashboard. As we move throughout the year, there are other pieces that we do want to include. Our next one, for example, with the superintendent approval will be our behavior dashboard. So again, that is all available off of the district website. I know behavior was mentioned before. I won't go through all of this information on the amount of referrals, but I do believe between public comment and our principal, we are seeing classroom disruptive behavior. It's a reported and repeated behavioral issue district-wide. That is followed closely by defiance towards adults, and then we are seeing that fighting student to student. That's not a new trend. However, it is it's an early emerging trend when we look at the past couple of years. I will say that Newport Primary does implement through their Tier 1 program second steps. Newport Intermediate is going to be adding the evidence-based program Too Good for Violence, and that does come from their usage of Too Good for Drugs. That was implemented last year, and the results were absolutely phenomenal. So we think the individuals that work through the Too Good for Drugs program, we are continuing that work, but we will be adding Too Good for Violence. And then looking at other programs as well, again, for us. And I believe it was Ms. Blanker who actually said it the other day, when we go back to our previous data and we look at our stakeholder reports, they all talk about parent-family engagement. And we really feel like the parent-family engagement piece is what's going to be able to move us forward. So when we're talking about academic growth, behavioral growth, we need our partners, we need our community, and our stakeholders. Included for this month, I did bring you the feedback from surveys. Thank you for allowing that late submission. I met with primary school faculty last Wednesday, the intermediate school the Wednesday before, and the high school the Wednesday before that. We do have, and it is included for you, the pie charts and some bar graphs of the educators' feedback. And I did give you a formal recommendation, and that is for new business. We were looking at data that was between 50 and 50% said yes, they want to return to SPDM. We have varying results as far as people needing additional information, additional training, wanting to stay with the current advisory, or simply just not having enough information. So I've also given you in that recommendation a rollout for how we increase everyone's knowledge, just not our teachers, but our parents, our community members, and those that are involved in those decisions. How do we train so we know what site-based decision making looks like, or how do we increase the role of our current advisory councils? So it was a phenomenal meeting with the teachers. They had great feedback to give, and we do appreciate those that did complete the survey. Do you have any questions for me right now about SPDM or site-based decision making, that recommendation? Right, let's get up to speed, let's really train, let's find some great trainers. Let's look at what it really takes to be in SPDM and have that governance. Let's build up our faculties and staff now. One of the pieces that I shared with teachers is it is the #1 leadership experience I had as an educator, where I really learned what the policies are, where I learned how to write policies and how to write procedures. I don't think I would have had that experience as an educator had I not been an SPDM member, and then going on to be an SPDM trainer.
And that's where I thought, and it really helps me as a West Florentine policies. Because when I was at the middle school, we wrote
So we really, and it shouldn't be just necessarily for those individuals who are going to be on site-based or who are going to be on advisory council. We want all of our teachers to get into the process of that, especially if that's an area where they want to grow. In addition to that, they have given some phenomenal feedback through written comments on how we can improve what we're doing currently, including, for example, with our advisory councils meet, they want those minutes. When any board meets, they want the minutes. They want to see that information, not necessarily to find it, but actually have that. So that's just one example of some great feedback I was getting.
And we would like to start getting those, we were getting those at one time, we would like to start getting those in as well.
If we are going to be working with our principals and our advisory council, and then doing some elections and actually having those procedures that are more site-based like, so that everything is also run concurrently while we're building our organization.
So what's the plan for engaging the stakeholders and the parents?
I want to make sure that I'm actually part of that in there.
I know you talked about them, but I just want to know about you.
One of the first pieces will be through including our parents in those trainings. So parents are a value member of site-based, depending on the number of individuals and the type of SPDM that is created. We'll tell you how many parents will be on that. Maybe our parents to attend those trainings. Do our parents know?
My question is, how do you recruit those parents? How do you get your parents interested in becoming a part of this? Will you handpick them? Will you advertise? How do you give the message to the parents how important it is?
Honestly, I do feel like we're going to need a bigger committee for that, so it shouldn't just be what I say. For example, and the reason why I say that is the way that our high school advisory council will go about recruiting their parents is going to be probably, not completely, but probably different than how, for example, we are going to be recruiting at the primary school and at the intermediate school. And a huge portion of this is also going to be making sure that the parents feel welcome to come, that they understand that when they come in, the why behind it and how decisions are made, and that we have to have their input. If we are going to grow our schools, we close these gaps. We have to have our families. Very good, thank you. The other piece of information that I have for you all tonight is related to our Title 1, 2, 3, and 4, our consolidated application. I did go back and look through board reports just to try to give a historical context for those that are here tonight. Now I'm over my 3 minutes. We really began a conversation in December of 24 talking about our whole harmless. We came back in January with a whole harmless amount. In February of 25, we addressed that we had some concerns because our federal legislative and our federal executive branch were disagreeing as to whether or not they were actually going to be releasing federal funds. We met again in March, May, July, and August. All the way up through August, we were not sure whether the federal government would actually be allocating those funds to the state and then the state to us. It was our 4th of July holiday when the Commissioner of Education called together the superintendents and the Title I coordinators of the state to have an emergency meeting, simply because of the number of districts that had funds, and then realized they weren't going to have. How are we actually going to pay for these things? So that's the reason why you will see included in this report what that money is going to be spent on. So there are a lot of positions simply because when you're talking of the number of positions and not knowing, we have to be able to pay for people. So that's kind of the most layman terms that I can put it into. And each of the schools, so we have our district set aside, but each of the schools can also identify what they need. And you'll notice as you look through here and going back to our last working meeting, they are focusing on people, not things. So really getting people in to work with students and closing those achievement gaps. Now, at some levels, it is working through our targeted and focus groups. It is focused mostly on reading and mathematics. You will also know that there are places in here that focus specifically on behavior. Another area that we are focusing on as well, and we continue to study it, is really moving from our 2nd grade into our 3rd grade. What are those transitions looking like? What are transitions looking like in 6th grade going into 7th grade? Especially, and I'm thinking back to the day before, that is our retention data. You know, how much did we retain over the summer as compared to recoup? How long did it take us to get that back? So we are looking at those and want to really delve into what that looks like. One change has already been made, and that is with 3rd grade being self-contained this year to see what impact that has on students. So that's the beginning of a pilot. But we also want to be looking specifically on those transitions, and we speak specifically about rewriting Newport and that initiative with the city and within all our stakeholder groups. What does that look like birth to 3, into preschool into kindergarten, or Head Start, or daycare into? What does that look like going into kindergarten, and how do we know where kids are at the end of grade 2 to make that 3rd grade transition successful? Or do we need to do something different? So this is really setting up to make sure that we are going into that, to see if there are any barriers that need to be removed. And that is the purpose of those changes.
Just to transition to the 3rd, 2nd, 3rd grade, would it be better? I mean, I don't know. This is just a question. But would it be better for us to have our 3rd grade the second at the primary building?
There is a potential for that. And that is information that we'll need to continue looking at. This is the first time that 3rd grade has been self-contained at the intermediate school. And I think we definitely have to go back and look what the evidence says. transitions, what other schools have that similar, age grouping. I know that each of us had individual experiences in other districts where we have actually moved grade levels, to see if that transition would be effective. I know in my case, once upon a time, we moved fifth grade from a middle school down to our elementary school, and it was an immediate result in our test scores. But that's a different context, those are different kids, that's a different, location. So right now, we've already begun with having third grade self-contained. That's going to give us a lot of data this year. And then we'll continue to look at the evidence and do the research over the course of this year to see, should we be moving that? One key piece to that question is also, we've talked a lot, and our community has talked quite a bit about universal preschool. So that is another issue to look at. So looking at the size of the primary school, and again, I don't want to speak out of turn over the superintendent, but, that may be something to look at as well. So how are we going to utilize that space, and what is the data and evidence saying we best for our students?
It's such an issue moving from
There's quite a bit of information out there that's why that's a problem. Part of it's developmental. You are talking about children who are 7 and 8 years old, or between 7 and 9 years old, so developmentally there's a change. I can list probably 20 different reasons as to why, and it's actually in our title application that we're going to be discussing those and looking at each one of them. Maybe even looking at the environment, how teachers are teaching. And again, that's more into Ms. Flanders, our curriculum director and instruction. But we're going to be exploring all of those different options. And now we have a tool from Cognitive that will be able to see what that learning environment looks like in K-1 and 2, and then be able to compare that with what we're seeing to actually have informed decisions. A lot of people have a lot of feelings, a lot of people have a lot of beliefs, and our kids need to be able to make those informed decisions. So we're going to be working through that process this year.
looking forward to see how the third grade.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I know we've also had conversations about the sixth grade,
Yes,
so just keep us informed, and I have to go over tonight, but I know that conversations, I just want to let y'all that conversations also go on about our sixth graders.
You guys know this, there's so many factors that go into this, spacing, classroom size, there's, without going into a lot of details right now, there's a lot of it. So.
Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, for
Good evening.
you have a copy of my report. Even the family engagement piece, we had very positive results from our recent parent survey. And it measured the perception of family engagement in the special education process.
Something to do.
Yes, revisit this evening? Yeah. To review with Val continues our access to legal services education law, IDEA, and section 504. We have worked successfully with Ms. Combs over the last several years. She's one of the premier special education attorneys in the state of Kentucky. And if you will note, the updated contract does include not to exceed.
Sharing with my board, I used to go to her trainings and Kentucky School Board Association. She used to do a lot of training. As part of the legal update, so especially if we was very popular and very well attended. So that environment was really safe.
And her staff and admin training on special education law.
Yes. Yes, it's very good. Thank you.
That's it on the updates, any old business? All right, new business. Any questions? I think a lot of this we discussed at our planning meeting. And, purchase of the 2 new buses. We confirmed that the budget for that, correct? Good news, and I like the, forward thinking on that. Transportation department. Anybody have any questions? If not, we'll move forward with the vote.
I'm happy to utilize our title funds to bring back some of the work better for students. Thank you for all the people who are responsible for that. Thank you.
Right. I need a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 9.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Good. Oh, just they, board of comments, was giving us information, there is a, 2025 fall meeting at the Ignite Institute on Monday. So those who be board members who plan to attend, anyone who plans to attend, make sure you take your driver's license. All right. All right, any comments? If you have more.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's put forth the effort to help our community. Like, it shows every time we come in here lately, like, everything's just on point, you're dedicated, you're on the ground, you're making moves for these kids, and it really shows. So thank you, each and every one of you. That's all I got.
Okay.
And I just want to say I appreciate the planning and so forth that you talked about to get these scores up. I'm really excited to see how much better they do this summer.
Well, I concur, thank you all, for staying so late, but these staff meetings are important. It's worth the time, and I know you all have a plan, so we'll be looking forward to the next update after December scores. We'll keep up the good work. It is appreciated, thank you. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Move this thing off in favor.
Aye.
And thank you, Mr. Atkins. Thank you. And thank you for being here, Dr. Watson.